Welcome to Reflect with Ed Fassio. Get ready to experience one of the world's first 100% digitally generated podcasts, where we take a step back, dive deep, and strive to learn new things. Join us as we unpack thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections, and inspiring stories to help you stay in the know. Reflect is brought to you by the minds at ByteBrain and powered by emerging technologies from Google, HeyGen, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. Thanks for tuning in. Now, relax and prepare to reflect.
Welcome to Reflect, one of the world's first 100% AI-generated podcasts. I'm Julius.
And I'm Hale. You know what's happening right now in thousands of community colleges and boot camps across America? A massive, mostly invisible bet that nobody's talking about. People are signing up for AI-ready training programs, 6-week courses, 12-week boot camps, community college certificates, learn prompt engineering, master ChatGPT, become an AI-ready accountant. And here's what nobody's telling them. Most of those programs were designed to teach yesterday's skills are being taught with today's tools and won't matter much by the time the course ends.
So Hale, this hits different for me because my sister just signed up for one of these. AI Career Accelerator, 12 weeks, $2,000. She's a dental hygienist, thinking maybe she could pivot. And I watched her watch the course trailer, and I was like, do you actually know what they're teaching you to do?
Right? That's the thing. The programs exist. But the gap between what they teach and what the market actually needs, and what's going to exist in 6 months, that gap is widening, not shrinking.
Let's paint this. According to LinkedIn's recent workforce report, about 72% of companies say they need to reskill or upskill their workforce because of AI. That's almost 3/4 of the market saying our people need to change. But here's where it gets weird. The number of people completing these AI training programs is nowhere near the demand. And the ones who do complete, a lot of them finish and realize the job they were trained for either doesn't exist yet or the requirements have already shifted.
And who's getting blamed for that gap?
The people. They didn't fail the transition. The market failed to tell them what they were actually training for.
So we've got this weird situation where, 1, companies know they need AI-capable teams. 2, workers know they need to learn AI skills. 3, the training exists.
But nobody aligned on what those skills actually are.
Picture yourself in an office supply warehouse in Cleveland. 47-year-old inventory manager named Marcus. 23 years managing stock, spreadsheets, efficiency systems. His company just rolled out an AI system that suggests inventory moves instead of him deciding. Marcus feels the floor shifting, so he takes a course, AI Fundamentals for Logistics. Sounds perfect, right? He spends 6 weeks learning how large language models work, how transformers process data, how to write better prompts for ChatGPT.
But Marcus's actual job didn't need him to understand how LLMs work. His company's AI system, they bought it off the shelf. He needed to know, how do I verify the system's recommendations? How do I catch errors? How do I explain this to my team?
Instead, he learned theory. And when he got back to his job, he had a diploma and 0 new skills that his manager cared about.
And here's the thing. Marcus paid for that course. Some companies sponsor it, but a lot of people are spending their own money, their own time to train themselves for a job market that nobody's actually mapping.
The numbers are sobering. According to a Coursera analysis from Q1 2026, completion rates for AI-specific boot camps are around 31%, less than a third. Compare that to traditional coding boot camps at around 60% completion. Why? One major reason: the curriculum becomes outdated faster than they can update it. A course designed in January is working with LLM capabilities and pricing from December. By April, the landscape has shifted.
And if you're a student working full-time, trying to squeeze this in at night or weekends, you're burning yourself out, learning something that's already rotting.
But it gets worse.
Of course it does.
The biggest gap isn't between students and jobs. It's between what training programs think companies want and what companies actually need. A McKinsey survey from March 2026 found that 68% of enterprise leaders said their hiring teams didn't actually know how to interview or assess AI capability. They were recruiting for AI-ready people, but had no framework for identifying them.
So you train people for a job that the hiring managers can't even recognize.
Exactly.
Okay, so whose fault is this? Because Marcus in Cleveland just wasted his money and 6 weeks. The training company says, we're offering what people asked for. Companies say, we can't find people. And people say, I did everything you told me to do. Someone's lying or just incompetent. Which is it?
I think it's worse than lying. It's structural misalignment. Nobody is incentivized to solve this. Training companies make money by running courses. They don't make money by ensuring their graduates get hired. So their incentive is volume and completion rates, not actual job placement or skill relevance.
Right? They can say, we trained 10,000 people in AI. Success. Without tracking whether those 10,000 people got jobs.
Or kept them, or actually use the skills they paid for.
And companies aren't mandating specificity because hiring is slow and inefficient anyway. They just keep posting AI experienced and hope someone who paid for a course applies.
And the people? They're told, you have to upskill or you'll be left behind. It's fear-driven. It's not clarity-driven.
It's predatory.
Yeah, not intentionally, but structurally, yeah.
Here's what forward-thinking companies are actually doing, because not all of them are failing this. Some enterprises, Cigna, JP Morgan, others, they're not hiring AI-ready people. They're hiring specific roles and building internal reskilling programs with a clear job description on the other end. This matters. An internal program says, you're a claims analyst. Here's what the AI system we built will do. Here's your new job. Verify outputs, catch errors, escalate edge cases. Here's your 6-week training, specifically tailored to this system, this job, this company.
So the person knows exactly what they're training for and what they're getting at the end.
And the company knows exactly what skills the person will have. There's no gap.
But that only works if you're working for that company. What about the millions of people trying to transition between jobs?
That's where the market is failing. There's no good signal, no universal standard, no way for a public training program to know what a future job actually requires.
Because AI is moving so fast that the jobs are still being invented.
So you're training for something that doesn't have a stable shape yet.
If you're thinking about an AI training program, don't ask, will this make me AI ready? Ask, does this training map to a specific job at specific companies? Get names, get job descriptions. Call the hiring manager and ask them point blank, is this the skill you actually need? If they hesitate, that program isn't for you.
And if you're a manager or a hiring leader, don't post AI experienced. Say exactly what you need. We need someone who can integrate GPT API responses into our inventory system. Be specific, make it real. That clarity cascades down and it forces training programs to actually teach something that maps to a job.
And if you're building a training program, your success metric should not be completion rates. It should be, what percentage of our graduates got a job they wanted in their field within 3 months?
Make that your promise, because right now, nobody is promising that, and people are paying for ambiguity.
And that's not education. That's just subscription to hope.
This week, sit with that. If you're in a hiring role, get specific. If you're considering training, ask the hard questions. If you're a leader, own the gap between what you say you need and what you actually reward. Thanks for listening to the Reflect Podcast, where we're telling the future. Are you in it? Visit reflectpodcast.com and share your story.
And hey, if you're training for a future, make sure someone actually needs it. That's the move. Catch you next time on Reflect.
In the cyber ocean of online voices and recycled content, something different has arrived. Reflect isn't just another podcast, it's the future of storytelling, powered entirely by AI. From curating data to assembling thought-provoking ideas, we've redefined how journeys are told. Reflect is a podcast that thinks, learns, and evolves with each episode. Every tale, every insight, crafted by the most advanced AI technologies. A podcast that disrupts the industry, breaking free from traditional formats, taking you on an entirely new experience. So tune in now and reflect. We're telling the future.